Hey everybody, this is James from South Texas RC and BRB Racing. This is going to be part 2 of the EMaxx, picking up from last night. So the question was about the wheels. What was I going to keep? I wanted to actually have that nut on the front. So I've got another hack for y'all. So we're going to take these, the hexes, we're going to grind these completely all the way down until there's no more threading left. And then we're going to install the grub screw, and we're going to put a washer on the front and put on the nut. I also noticed on the rear carriers the bearings had excessive play on brand new RPMs, so I popped those back apart again, wrapped them with Teflon tape. I don't know what the results are going to be until I assemble it and feel it, but I might take those back to the local hobby store and discuss with them, because those rear bearings, they wobble and they fell right out. With the Teflon tape, it snugged them up, but we'll see how that goes throughout the video. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to pop this down here and show you how I'm doing this. Taking this, I'm putting it in a vice grips, snugging it down on the clover part right here. And off we go. Nothing like RC carnage in the morning. And you want to make sure you get all the threads trimmed all the way off, that way it's not protruding up above the wheel when you put the washer. Make sure you have a towel, thick towel handy if it moves out of the vice grip, because this thing is hot. Do not burn your fingers. Of course, you're going to have to use something to, a pair of pliers like I was doing, or needle nose, to help clear out the hole where the aluminum got mushroomed in. Okay, let's take these inside. Then, like I said, use like a pair of needle nose pliers. Get inside there, clean out all the additional aluminum that got melted down inside of it. Just gently walk it back and forth. Now, what I was talking about with Teflon tape was this inner bearing on the inside kept falling out, and when I had the assembly up here, I kept noticing there was play back and forth. So like I said, I put Teflon, about 3 wraps around that bearing, and then placed it back in, then trimmed up the excess. So hopefully that's going to work. If I feel any more play, I'm going to tear this back off, take these back in with me. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble the back, and then we'll show you how to mount the wheels. Alright, time to mount. Make sure you got anything that's excessive still on the edges. Clean it off. You might want to walk around this with that pair of pliers or needle nose to help shave off anything that got mushroomed down on the side that might get stuck on the rim. Of course, we boogered a couple of little spots right here on the clover with the vice grips, but nothing serious. Let's make sure we clean up any excessive pieces that are protruding. Let's do a little bit of a tight fit. So it's tight going on, just take those needle nose and just bore out a little bit more of the aluminum, kind of put an angle, grab some of that off the edge. There we go. Tighten it down. And now we're ready for a wheel. This is my other prop here. So basically we're using the nuts that were included. And we're going to be using on these type of tires for this one 3 1/16 by 3/4. Let's go and mount the wheel. Okay. You see how it's completely flush. You want to make sure it's flush, not protruding out past the plastic, because if not, this will not work. It'll brace it up higher and you won't be able to tighten it. Place the washer, like so. Nut. 8 mil. Tighten it down. Now let's see if that play is still there from the hubs. A little bit. A little bit of walk. But it's not really that. It's bad, but it's not good. I would prefer it to be tighter, but it'll work. Thinking maybe a shim, but no, it's just gonna, that bearing's walking back and forth still, even with the Teflon. So anyway, definitely gotta talk to them about these carriers, and that's of course what we did for the wheels, because I wanted to put this nut on the front but still run the tires and rims. And now you don't have to worry about that death wobble you get from the 17mm hexes, because now we have fixed that problem. So this application will work on most any 17mm hex system. So it's 11 o'clock here now, Sunday morning. That hobby store opens up at noon, so I'll be departing here from the house about 11:30, and then driving up there and probably take the whole truck with me and show them the hub, discuss this portion, and then of course go over the drive shaft being the wrong one they gave me, and then take it from there, because the front, take a look at the front, is completely, of course you got playing the steering that you get that back and forth, but up and down there's barely anything. Up and down it is picking up some here, Not too severe though, so we'll see what we're going to do with this. So the next segment up, I'm going to go ahead and merge these two videos together. That will be showing the last finals of tying up the electronics. Of course, that's self-explanatory, bolting that back down, making sure the wires are all nice and neat on the inside, and then deciding on a couple other factors, what I want to do with this truck. Also going to be setting the, doing a set on the gear mesh also. Actually, I can probably, well no, let me put the tires on. We'll knock that out on the next segment. Alright, so went to the local hobby store, found that carriers, they said they were going to go ahead and make that good, change those out for a different set. So the new carriers are installed back here. Also found that I was getting noise out of the differential, and I went ahead and tore the differential apart. Come to find out the differential was bad. There's a bunch of burrs on this, and there's chunks missing out of the ring gear. So yeah, I went ahead and rebuilt that at the local hobby store when I was standing there on his pit mat doing the stuff. I didn't feel like messing with it on camera for some reason, but yeah, I went ahead and rebuilt this differential. I'm in the process right now of already reassembling the front, and the front differential was good. It was just lacking some grease. If you want to see the inside of an older diff off of a EMaxx, it's almost identical, but it's different bearing sizes. It's basically, case comes apart with 4 screws. This sits here in the front with 2 bearings. A bearing on either side of this. Sits down inside, and of course, bolt your cover on. And that's the end of a diff. And of course, to get the ring gear off, it has screws here, and then make sure you're using your grease or diff oil, whichever you prefer, on the inside, and then put a generous amount of grease on the outside of this, on this, and pack it in the case, and then you're good to go on the differential. Also, by taking off this front plate, the drive shafts will be in a week, so I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the plastic ones for now to actually run the truck. So in a week from now, pretty self-explanatory, you take off that plate. You have the grub back here, access point here, and then the front, I advise taking off this front cover, and it makes it easier to access the front drive shaft on it. So that will be in 1 week, those parts will be coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and screw all this back together, put the tires on it, and clean it up. Bolt the electronic panels back on the front. It's almost done. Make sure you put these notches here with the notches there, your access points. These 2 screws go into the steering links. And there's 4 smaller screws that go back here in the back of the skid plate. Wasn't anticipating on having to rebuild differentials, so kind of slowed this progress down. I find another screw for the front bumper because it was bent. Dig through my box real quick. Okay, center shaft is back in. Of course, like I said, that's going to be coming in a week. All that's complete. So I've still got to tie up these wires, put on these covers here, clean it up, and it'll be ready to run. And I did mention about the slipper clutch. I have the cover off right here on this nut. I'm going to loosen this nut here, and then I'm going to roll the truck until it starts to drag the tires, and then just give it probably about a turn, and that should be sufficiently set for the slipper. Okay. Scrub it with the pliers, just as a safety precaution, make sure it's set. That's right. Max is forward, so you drive it forward. Loosening. Okay, and it's dragging the tires. Do it one more time. That should be good on the snipper right there. Alright, and the final walk around. Of course, I will make a run video of this. Went ahead and just cleaned up the old body that I had for it. Eventually I'll probably get another one. I had to trim a little bit here because it was roughed and cracked. Give good detail to the chassis. Take a pop under the hood. And then remember, in a week from now, the center drive shaft will be coming in. So I'll put the new center drive shaft in it. High torque servos. So there you have it, guys. There is the part 2 of the Traxxas EMaxx custom upgrade build work on it. So I hope you all enjoyed what you saw in the video. I hope it was helpful and informational. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit like. If you're watching this video, go ahead and subscribe. We're trying to get this channel at past 1,000 people on the subscriber list. So until next time, guys, later.